Yeah, streets hum loud with a broken beat. Yeah, whispers crawl where the liars meet. Yeah, the truth's a shadow hiding in plain sight. They sell us mirrors, but no one's right.
Who holds the pen that rewrites the lines? Who builds the walls and calls them divine? Burn the flags, burn the flags. They don't care what you have. Raise your voice or take your stand. The power's yours, don't let it pass.
Marching forward, but stuck in reverse. Echoes scream, but they don't rehearse. Fingers point, but the mirrors crack. Both sides cheat while the people lack.
Who feeds the fire? Who strikes the spark? Who paints the light? Who shapes the dark?
Burn the flags, burn the flags. They don't care what you have.
Raise your voice or take your stand. The power's yours, don't let it pass.
Hey, 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 fight, 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 fight.
Thing broken.
Flags, burn the flags. They don't care
Everything's broken.
what you have. Raise your voice or take your stand. The power's yours, don't let it pass. Oh, oh, oh.
Well, hopefully it's working because I put it up on my screen, and I could see that it was showing my face on the screen that it is now. So, very weird. Also, why is it not showing my guest? Hello. Hang on, let me copy the link. Maybe it has been a while. Maybe it's a new link. Let's see. I have a guest today, and she should be appearing right now. You're gonna have her appear now. There we go. Hello, Magic.
Hello.
I don't know I was looking at Rumble Studio just now, and it had me on this screen just by myself while the music was playing. And it was supposed to show my thumbnail. It was supposed to show my thumbnail and then my schedule. So I don't know what happened there, because on OBS it said that it was, but then I clicked it again and then it switched over. So I guess I'm getting the business today. I don't know. But hello, Nora.
Hello. Well, everybody's been getting the business lately.
Apparently that and Rumble Studio has a fat delay on it today. Like, holy crap. Did it
And I hear myself.
You hear your... Oh, I think I know why. Do you still hear yourself?
I don't know, do I? No, I don't. Cool.
Okay, that's weird. Oh, it's because it's sharing my entire audio from... I need to... How do I fix that? I don't even know how to fix that. Anyway, doesn't matter. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
I'm doing okay as well. There actually wasn't a ton of news today. I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to look for news last night. There might be more today, so if we run out of stuff to talk about, we can just look for some more stories that I may have missed. But there's really only like 2 stories that I've found that I actually cared to talk about. But one of them is an opinion article from the New York Post. I have a feeling we're going to talk about that one for a while, so should be fine.
Okay.
I don't know if there was any stories that you had seen, but the story that I wanted to start with here, let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about this first story. Oh wait, I didn't fix this. I'm gonna have to fix this. Look, wait. So I'm over here and I'm blocking your camera, aren't I? No? Now we're back.
Nah,
good.
We're back.
We're back, and we're back. That's super. I don't know. I'm having issues today. It's not even Rumble. It's OBS giving me the business. I could see it down there. I'm getting. It's got a low connection rate. Why?
Huh. So I don't know. So OBS is giving you issues.
Yeah, I might need to
That's
update
fun.
OBS. I could do it after. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Anyway, as long as we're still here. But you were talking about you were talking with Jessica about Putin coming over here.
Well, Jessica and I were live the day that Putin and Trump were up here, and that flyover happened because it had been dead silent for close to 48 hours before he came up here. There was no planes, there was no personal planes, nothing was allowed in our airspace. Period. Like a bird wasn't even allowed in the airspace. So when I heard the flyover happen, I was like, something big is going on, dude. It's like that just doesn't happen. Like they came, they went, and I don't know if my mic picked it up or not, but my reaction was
like, what's going on?
Oh my god. Yeah, it was scary. So I know exactly what you're talking about, what's how fast those planes are. And you saw on video, it snuck up on Putin, and Putin was just like, oh, hey. Well,
He's like, why are you doing that?
Exactly. It's like he's showing force without showing force. And I said it back then when I heard what he actually did. I was like, he did that for a reason.
Yeah. Well, I just want to read on here because we have some statements from Trump. Says President Donald Trump has instructed his Defense Department to resume nuclear weapon testing immediately. Trump made the announcement via Truth Social on Wednesday night. Of course he did. Just before the highly anticipated meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping in South Korea. Quote, the United States has more nuclear weapons than any other country. Trump wrote, this was accomplished including a complete update and renovation of existing weapons during my first term in office. Because of the tremendous destructive power, I hated to do it, but I had no choice. Russia is second and China is a distant third, but we'll be even within the next 5 years. Yeah, because they're ramping up. China's been playing the long game. I keep telling people this. They're purposefully building up their navy. They're purposefully building up their air force, especially with drones, and they have been creating nuclear weapons.
Well, see, here's the thing: is most people do not stop to realize that China has 100-year plan. Most people think about 5-10-year plan. No. China's playing the long game. They do it in 100-year increments. Why? Because they've been around for so long. They're
still pissed about us sending a bunch of drugs to their country.
Well, that's what they've been doing it to us for how many hundred?
That's because we did it first.
Technically, we didn't do it first. It was,
Well,
Britain.
they ramped it up after we did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. They got the idea from somewhere.
But no, they hold grudges, and they know that our political cycles go by 4 or 8 years at most. So they're like, okay, just wait them out.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
they play the long game, and they have no problem doing it.
Yep. Trump went on to say here, because of the other countries' testing programs, I've instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. That process will begin immediately. I mean, that's smart. That's smart, at least. Like, every time one of our enemies tests something, we have to test one.
Yep, exactly.
I don't know if I don't know if we'll be able to keep up pace with them, though, if that's the case. Because if we're trying to compete, I think we need to do it more than they're doing it.
Well, not only that, but here's the thing: is how many dummies are they actually setting off, saying that, oh, we're testing,
Yeah,
just so we'll use our actual supply.
that's true. I mean, Putin, they just tested that new missile. Did it actually have payload on it? I didn't see.
I don't know. That's that was the question of the day. They said it had a payload, but did it really have a payload?
Also, these governments are going to have access to AI technology now. I mean, how much are we going to be able to trust? Be like, oh, we just tested the world's biggest nuke, and it's literally just AI.
Well, here's the problem with that. We would be able to physically see the results of that on satellite.
True.
Literally, like, look at Chernobyl before and after. You will be able to see. Look at Fukushima. It's the same thing, before and after. You literally will see a change in the physical landscape. So we will know if they test the biggest one But unless they're doing it in a facility like CERN where they can do it on a molecular level, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that scares me even more. What if they're doing molecular testing and they're going to make it go nuclear? That's even scarier.
I'm not ready for World War III, Nora. I don't want it.
I'm not either. I'm
It won't be fun
sorry.
for anyone.
It's not going to be fun for anybody.
I mean, it'll be fun
That's-
for the warmongers and rhinos who don't have to send their kids off to war, but you know.
For the average person all over the world, this should scare them. Really, it should. And when 9/11 happened, I looked at one of my teachers and I looked at it was my social studies teacher, and I told him, I have a feeling that this is the catalyst that starts World War III. I said, it doesn't have to start tomorrow, but give it 20, 30 years. This will be the catalyst that started it.
Well, some say that the World War II never ended. We've just been in a lull since then. We just kind of went to sleep,
yeah.
you know.
But that's the thing, is technically we did have some sense of peace because things stopped. So World War II did stop, but things have just been piling on top of each other again.
Well, and then
It's one of those what's going to break the dam.
And then you have the continuation of the Israel-Gaza conflict, too. And I want to call into Tim. Hopefully, I can get to call in tonight. I want to ask him if the celebration that we saw from so many people, it's not even one particular side. We saw so many people celebrating the ceasefire when anyone that knows anything about the news knew that that wasn't going to last more than 2 weeks.
No, yeah, I knew it wasn't going to last. But the fact that they even tried, I give it to them. But at the same time, I knew it was going to happen.
I have Horace said California is dope as fuck. Don't let conservatards lie about our state. Rahussis? What? Look, I have Horace. We're gonna get to that soon. I have an opinion article from the New York Post, but the opinion article has, I think, 3 or more different bills relating to children and how they're basically legalizing prostitution for children. So may change your mind on that a little bit here soon. I don't plan on having kids in this godforsaken state.
I wouldn't.
No, if my girlfriend and I we do plan on having kids at some point when we're more stable, but not in this state.
I would definitely move to a different state because you wouldn't have rights over your child.
Literally.
The state would take away your rights as a parent, and I'm sorry, I'm a parent, but that.
Oh, he's trolling. He's trolling. He said that makes California better. Okay, Avaya Horace. Anyway,
somebody's had us putting their shot in the coffee today.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, dude. Let's see what it says here. It says, Trump didn't respond to a reporter's question about the announcement as he prepared to meet with Z on Wednesday night. The Independent has contacted the Defense Department for comment. The announcement came after weeks of renewed nuclear saber-rattling with Russia, which this week tested a nuclear-capable underwater drone they said could not be intercepted. Russia also tested a nuclear-powered missile with unlimited range, adding to a growing arsenal of fast and nuclear-capable cruise missiles. NATO has also carried out nuclear drills this month as a part of the Operation Steadfast Noon in Europe. In August, Russia elected to pull out the Intermediate-Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, so they pulled out of this treaty, by which the Soviet Union and the U.S. had agreed to reduce the number of strategic weapons held by both sides. Well, of course he pulled out of that. He has no reason to stay in that when we're talking about backing Ukraine.
Yeah.
The decision was announced days after Trump said he was redeploying a pair of nuclear submarines to appropriate regions, citing provocative statements from former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev. This week, Trump reminded Russia that U.S. has a nuclear submarine right off their shores after the Kremlin's latest nuclear missile test. So more saber rattling from both sides. I just don't like where this goes. I don't know if I believe in mutually assured destruction. I think it's definitely possible, but
it will only last for so long. It's literally one of those things where it only lasts for like the first generation because they're like, yeah, we trust you. We know what you're capable of. The next generation comes in, they've only heard stories what they're capable of. The third generation comes in and they don't care, nor do they respect it because they don't understand. They never saw anything, they never saw the hardships. They've only seen the result of. And this is what we are. We are the third generation of these accords, basically.
I mean, what do
Yep.
they say? They say wealth only lasts 3 or 4 generations.
Well,
But it's not just wealth. It's also knowledge, apparently, too.
yeah, it only lasts so many generations because either it becomes obsolete or people forget.
People forget its purpose. It's basically like
Mhm.
you see a lot of people today talking about like, oh, why do you need guns and stuff like that? Well, it's because we've built up society to a point where you don't normally need to protect yourself from wild animals. The only wild animals you have to protect yourself from are people. But you absolutely need weapons and stuff to defend yourself. Humans are so easily killed by other animals.
Oh my
it's
God.
insane.
We're squishy.
A freaking a rabid rabbit could kill us. Like it's insane. But people forget this. After so many generations of living in relative safety, you forget that there's wild animals that can easily kill you.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
and to scale it up to this, no one in my generation knows about the nuclear bombs we dropped in World War II. No one knows and no one cares.
Yeah.
Like you said, you laid it out perfectly. It gets to a point where you forget, and then the next generation not only forgets, but they don't care.
Yeah, because they never had to deal with it. And they're like, it's so far removed. What does that matter to us anymore?
Or you have the people that they're like, oh, that'll never happen again. We would never do that again.
Exactly. See, for me, when I was growing up, I was like, oh, the Great Depression's never going to happen again. And then the recession hit. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, we're not going to have a massive epidemic and pandemic again. And what happened? It happened again. So these are things that were so far removed that I never thought were possible because of how far we have advanced in society. I'm like, oh, these are things that are never going to happen. Like the bubonic plague, I never thought could come back, but I was wrong. The bubonic plague came back a couple of years ago, and I'm like,
Yeah.
are you for real?
Yeah, I was quite surprised to find that out as well. It's still being. It never fully went away, but it's now getting it's reemerging. It's growing in numbers. I forget what country. I think it's like Africa, right?
There was one country in Africa, and then I think there was one country in I want to say Eastern Europe.
I think we've had a couple
Ish.
cases here too, but
Yeah, we had a couple of cases, but they got transferred over.
right. I don't know. People too quickly forget, and there's way too many sheeple. I mean, just look at how crazy people went over freaking toilet paper during COVID.
Oh my God.
The toilet paper stuff was insane. The pallets of toilet paper being shipped in, and then people going and buying like a year's supplies of toilet paper. And it's like,
I know.
what did you think was going to happen? You just thought trees were going to stop growing? Or just...
No, people were worried about the supply chain, and I could understand that, especially up here, because
Why not
you
food?
guys,
Like canned
well,
food.
well, see, that's the thing is up here, most people had canned food because we live in a state where they say be prepared, for a natural disaster because it happens all the time. So the vast majority of the population up here has reserved canned food for at least a week or two. So the biggest thing were like household products like cleaning and toilet paper and detergent. Those three things flew off the shelves up here. And any kind of paper products, you mean Kleenex, gone. Paper towels, gone. Any kind of paper product was gone. And the worst part about it was we have to get stuff freighted up here. So it's either on a barge or Canada graciously allows trucks to travel through, and they only allow certain length trucks, certain height, and certain weight.
I think we need to do what Russia did to Ukraine, and we need to invade Canada so that we can get a land bridge to Alaska.
Well, But see, here's the thing: is a couple of the provinces who actually are in that line of traffic want to join us. So I'm like, yes, please secede, come and join us, please.
I mean, I don't blame them.
And then
You see what they're doing up there? So many things up there.
I am okay with Canada, like parts of Canada, not all of it, parts of Canada.
If we
joining
took
the
all of
United
Canada,
States.
we would never have a conservative or Republican-leaning president again.
Never.
They-
So
They're too dumb. They don't realize when people are stealing from them and making their lives hell.
no, but anyways, yeah. So the freight up here is astronomical. It takes weeks, even sometimes a couple of months to completely fully restock. So this is even more concerning because if they start cutting off trade routes, they start cutting off supply routes.
I mean, a World War III starts. Russia already said that they're taking Alaska back.
I know, and I'm not okay with that. And I can guarantee the Alaskan Native population, they already don't like Russia for very, very, very good reason. Like, if anybody knows anything about Alaskan history, look up what happened between Russia and the Native Alaskans. Holy crap balls. You think America did the indigenous population dirty? No. Look what Russia did. They did even worse.
I have
And nobody.
I've never seen anything about the history there.
Oh, do mild research. You don't even have to deep dive it. Just do a basic generic research on it, and you will. Russia's not very nice, and I do not want to be a part of Russia. Period.
I don't want to be their
I'm
enemy. I think we
happy-
should be their ally.
I do too. I'm more than happy being an American. I am happy that I grew up in America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. And I am not dealing with communist Russia. There's no way. There's no way.
But so we're almost done with the article here. So the U.S. has observed a voluntary moratorium on nuclear explosive testing since 1992, according to the Congressional Research Service. However, despite the moratorium, the U.S. has maintained the ability to resume the test at the Nevada National Security Site. Beth Sanner, a former intelligence official who served in several roles across the CIA, National Security Council, and State Department, called the decision a bad idea in an interview with CNN's Caitlin Collins on Wednesday night. Quote, yes, we give up a little bit in terms of constraining ourselves when we have a test ban treaty and we uphold it. But when we break that, other countries who are our adversaries benefit more than we do. I mean, there is an argument to be made there that she is right, because our military is a lot more advanced than most of our adversaries. But if we break the treaty and we're like, all right, fuck it, just start testing, well, then they're like, all right, fuck it, start all the testing.
Yeah.
Because if we go fuck it, then they're going to go fuck it. And then
That's exactly it. You know, who's to hold anybody to any kind of accountability or any kind of standard if we're just going to backpedal and go, you know what? All right, well, since they're going to do it, we're going to do it. And since they're going to do it, we're going to do it. And it's just going to continue a cycle.
It's the absolute peak. Like when you're talking about countries, it's the absolute peak of do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
So if we start breaking these treaties, I mean, look, we've talked about this before, Nora. War crimes don't exist. What if we just start deciding that all these different war crimes, they're not war crimes anymore? And then these other countries are like, oh, if those aren't war crimes, then these aren't war crimes, and then we'll get like another, biological warfare scenario. Like,
Oh, I know, and it's already ramping up to look that way, and I am not okay with it. It needs to stop. It needs to.
I mean, China's trying to create a virus that directly affects certain races of people, because the actual racists on the planet are trying to create viruses to kill all other races.
Yeah, basically, and they're trying to go after blood types.
That too. Yep. No, it's I don't want that. And I've said this repeatedly too, is just think about all these different governments that have like technology. I think back to like the Manhattan Project. No one knew what the Manhattan Project was until we dropped the bomb.
Oh my God.
So
I
like
know.
it's been a long time since then. What kind of other Manhattan Project type scenarios do we have where World War III pops off and they're like, oh, here, space laser, just destroy
Hundreds.
a country?
No, I already know it's hundreds, because you've got to think we had MK Ultra and they destroyed all the files. And there were so many different experiments that came out of MK Ultra, and I'm sorry, but how many other projects do we have that the government has hidden or destroyed evidence of, and it's top secret, classified, top tier, all them fun jazz? How many? Countless.
Like you said, dozens, if not hundreds.
Yeah, because
I personally think the UFOs, all the UFOs we see, I think that's ours.
No, I already know. No, I already know. Well, here's the thing: is the UFOs either UFOs are really extraterrestrial life forms from other planets, or it is our government with high tech equipment and they're hiding it from us, or it could be both.
I take the latter. I think it's our government. I think they play up the alien stuff, because if we make our enemies think we have extraterrestrial technology, it's supposed to be like a fear mongering thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just that. It's like, oh, what is it? Like you have what is it? You leave them guessing as to the capabilities.
Have an imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think aliens exist? Of course, aliens exist. We've found bacteria all over the universe. So, and that's the basis for life. That's how we started. That's how I believe we started. We started as basic bacteria, millions and billions of years ago. But point being, aliens do exist. I just don't think they have visited us yet. And if they have, I don't think we would know.
Yeah.
That's my stance on it. I think it's all. World War III will only be cool simply for the fact that we'll be able to see all the cool technology they've been keeping under wraps.
Well, I already know that they've got cool technology because I've physically seen it. It's like, it's either a UFO that I saw, or I saw awesome, amazing technology that they're hiding. And I saw it when I was 17. So when I was a lot younger, I can imagine the leaps and bounds that they've made since I was in high school.
Yeah, it's. I just hope that it's enough to keep our adversaries at bay if something does pop off. Hopefully the technology is so advanced that we just end all our adversaries very quickly. That's all we can hope for at this point, Nora.
Well, I know for a fact that we had 3 different military, like army bases. 2 of them basically went, or one of them completely went inactive. The other one went to half duty, and then the third one was always remained full duty, and they went joint with the Air Force Base. Within the last 5-7 years, I would say the base that was half active is now completely fully active. The base that was deactive is now completely fully active. It's like, that's scary.
Yeah, I don't know. We can only hope that de-escalation happens, but with us ramping up, the stuff in Venezuela, Israel starting back up again, there's no end in sight for Ukraine, Russia. China still has their ambitions with Taiwan. You have other countries like Pakistan getting into conflicts. I've said it repeatedly all year. At what point do you call it a world war?
Yeah,
when there's war all over the globe, like what point do you call it a world war?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. I guess they
only classify it by the major countries. Only if the first world countries get involved, it's a world war.
It's more of a world war when they're all against each other, not when they're individually scattered, because those are just conflicts. They're like, yes, those are wars, but they don't really chalk that up to being a world war because all countries are not fighting each other, or, the vast majority of said countries are fighting each other. So if Russia, Ukraine ramps up, and then all of a sudden we've got Europe involved, and then China gets involved, and then we get involved, that would be the world war. Everybody's involved in one conflict and not a whole bunch of mini conflicts happening all over.
Yeah. Man. All right. Well, I think we talked about that long enough. We could do a whole show on that. But I really want to get to this California stuff. Did you have anything left to add on that one?
No, I just hope everybody can chill out and stop before it ramps up, before we hit that tipping point. We are at that point where everybody can chill. They can stop. We do not have to go to war. We are still at the point where we're like, okay, pump the brakes.
Like both of us have said, that's all we can hope for at this point. I just don't know if we're gonna get it.
I know. I can try to stay as optimistic as possible until it's not feasible.
Yeah, seriously.
That's what I try to do. I try to stay as optimistic as humanly possible until it's no longer feasible.
I have Horus said, guys, just stop fighting, please, uwu. No more war. Yes, I have Horus. He's correct. All right. Let's move on to this extra fun article from the New York Post. I know you can already see it. We're gonna let the audience see it right now. We have this opinion article from the New York Post, but they have a lot of factual things included within it, so that's why I'm bringing it up today. I don't normally bring up opinion articles, but I wanted to cover this with my guest today. And let's just read the title of this one, Nora, from the New York Post. California's kiddie stroll is state-sponsored slavery, selling children for sex. So what this is we have multiple 3, 4, I think 5 bills maybe that they themselves are terrible, but when you have all of them, they have now essentially legalized, or at the very least decriminalized, prostitution of children.
I know. I've heard several of these bills being passed, and they made my stomach turn.
And this is quite a long article, and it breaks down a few of these laws. So let's jump right into it. California's laws have made children its least protected class. As a matter of fact, if an American state wanted to establish a formal means of separating children from parents and other loving caregivers to feed a profitable industry, it couldn't be done with much more effectiveness than in California. In 2023, Governor Gavin Newsom signed legislation requiring foster parents to affirm the LGBTQ identities of any children in their care. So in order to have a foster child in California, if that child decides that they're transgender, you have to affirm them to the fullest extent.
Nope.
And it doesn't matter if the school confused them, doesn't matter who confused them or what ideology that they think they believe in, you have to affirm that. And then it also goes on to say that naturally he hailed it as a giant leap forward for gay rights, but it effectively kicked committed religious believers out of the foster care system. Yeah, because there's not going to be... what Christian is going to raise a trans kid knowing that they're abusing them through these medical procedures?
No good person, period.
Right.
No person who is mentally stable. It doesn't even have to... I understand they're throwing the religious aspect on it, but no stable person would affirm anybody, especially a child like this.
I live in California. I wouldn't be able to have a foster kid if that's the case, because I'm not affirming anything.
I used to be cleared as a foster parent for the state of Alaska. I was a foster parent for a very short time. I would never be able to affirm anybody, period. I would immediately lose all credentials to be a foster parent if that was the case.
It's just insane. I mean, and then we have let's see. I don't know if they bring it up here. No, they don't bring it up here. But so I don't know if the article brings it up. But there's another law that they recently amended. So it's been law since I believe 1970. I'm gonna get a little graphic here. So if you have kids in the room, cover their ears. This law made it to where starting at age 14. All the way from age 14 to 24, people engaged in a relationship. So a 24-year-old engaged with a 14-year-old would not end up on the sex registry.
Yep.
And that goes all the way up to 15 and a 25-year-old, 16 and a 26-year-old. You see where the math is going. Basically, within 10 years, starting at age 14. And they recently expanded the law. Not only does this law exist, they recently expanded it because it was discriminatory against LGBTQ people because it did not include anal or oral. It only included vaginal sex. So they recently amended it last year to now include anal and oral sex for 14 and 24-year-olds and 15, 25, however you want to put that. So people engaging in these relationships, it's not criminalized. It's not legal, but it's not criminalized either. So it's in that gray area where you can do it and you don't end up on the sex registry.
Unacceptable.
It's completely unacceptable, but that's what I mean. You couple all these laws together, and it's like they're terrible and disgusting individually, but then you put them all together, and it's like, holy crap, I'm seeing a pattern.
They're protecting pedophiles and
Yeah.
predators.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it is. And everybody wants to know how these creeps get into office. It's because they have people like this in office who are inherently evil and do evil things. So evil is allowed to continue.
And then couple what I just said with this, Nora. Last month, the governor signed AB 495. This is now going into effect. This is now a new law that is going into effect, aka the legal kidnapping bill.
Yep, I heard this one.
This allows an unrelated adult to claim a mentoring relationship and exercise parental authority over any child.
Any child at any point in time, even if they don't actually know them.
Non-foster parent, non-legal guardian, non-blood relative, non-legal parent, none of that. You could be a school counselor and like, oh, parents aren't present. Let me sign something here. Now I have authority over you. I have parental authority.
Oh yeah. Oh, you didn't get your field trip permission slip signed? Let me sign that for you. Oh, you want to get out of school early? Let me sign you out.
No, that's literally that's the ability and authority that these people would have. So let's say someone's a lot of these kids nowadays are online. Let's say they meet an adult online, right? Well, that adult could presumably exercise parental authority over that child if he gets enough information on him. That was terrible timing for that sound effect, guys. Nora, we just hit the light goal and it did the yay sound effect.
Oh no.
That was terrible timing. You guys did that on purpose, I feel like.
Impeccable timing, everybody. Impeccable timing.
Thank you, but no thank you. Anyway, continuing on.
Yay for the likes, boo for this.
Timing. Boo for the timing. I'm sure that'll be funny later in the segment. But anyway, no, this and I'm not over yet, guys. This isn't over. There's worse bills than even this one. And like Nora and I were talking about, random adults that are seeking to be predators to these children. What I just said, right, Nora? A 14-year-old starts talking to a 24-year-old online. Well, that 24-year-old's a legal adult, Nora. He can exercise parental authority over that child, and then they can get in a relationship, and then he will never end up on the sexual registry.
Yep. Exactly, and that's just scary to me.
And it gets worse. Do you have something to add there? Because it gets worse.
Well, oh yeah, no. See, like I could understand within reason. Up here, it was either 4 or 6 years or something like that. 6 years if you're closer to like 17, but if 14-year-old, it has to be within 4 years. So you can only be 18.
Well, and that's the argument for the law, right? Is that it's our state's version of Romeo and Juliet. The law that protected me and my girlfriend when she was 17 and I was 18 is the same law that protects 14-year-olds and 24-year-olds. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, see, I could understand within reason, within 4 years. Oh, 17 and 18 makes sense. 14 and 18 makes sense. You're still high school. That's a high school freshman and a senior. Granted, it can be a little bit dicey even at the 4-year mark for that.
When I was going to high school, people always thought it was weird with the seniors getting with the freshies, but
yeah, exactly. That was, and that was a social taboo more than anything, and that's what I want to bring back is that social taboo of no, that's not okay, and no, this isn't the 1600s, and no, you don't need to be 34 marrying a 14-year-old. That's disgusting, guys.
I know Shitty Gov's going off in the chat, but I want to continue here. Newsom's cronies in the legislature touted it as protection for the children of undocumented immigrants who might get whisked away by ICE in the middle of the day, but it effectively put an end to parents' rights. So they pushed this out under the guise of protecting children getting taken away by ICE.
Unacceptable. No,
they always use these political agendas to get these greater ideas out there, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but if you're here illegally, get out. ICE needs to get you anyways.
Yeah, and if you're a kid that's here illegally, then you need to go with your parents, or we just need to send you back to your family in whatever country you came from. If your parents are illegal and you're legal, I still think you should go back with your parents. But if for whatever reason your parents tell you to stay, I guess you're going in the foster system. I'm not
Yeah,
okay
you're
with
a
it.
ward, you're a ward of the state, or you get to go live with somebody here who is legal. I don't care, but you should probably be with your family. Get out. Bye. I'm sorry. I can't. Oh,
Here's one of the worst ones yet, Nora. Then there's SB 357, which bars police from profiling underage prostitutes.
yeah. I
That's a
heard
law.
that one too.
That's a law in California. Police are
You
not allowed to
shouldn't have
profile underage prostitutes.
prostitutes.
You
You shouldn't have them.
I'm sorry, that's a foreign concept nowadays, Nora.
You should not have underage prostitutes.
Foreign concept.
What happened to protecting children and letting children be children?
Nope.
They're not sex slaves. They are not to be sexualized. You creepy, nasty pedophiles.
And remember, guys, I want everyone to keep in mind that law that I brought up. These underage prostitutes, whoever decides to get with these prostitutes will never end up on a registry.
Ever.
So think about how many people are going around California right now that are actual pedophiles, but you will never see them on a registry anywhere.
Disgusting.
So this was designed to loosen the legal hassles surrounding sex work, as the progressives call it, but because sex seems like a job to them, and supposedly spare some unfortunate young women an early criminal record. So they said, oh, we don't want to give these unfortunate young women an early criminal record, even though there's adults paying them for sex.
Okay, so not giving the prostitutes a criminal record, I could understand because of the fact that some of these girls
Are forced
trafficked.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're trafficked.
But that would
And-
make them a victim, though. Like that.
Well, exactly, and that's why they don't want to give them a prostitute criminal charge, because they are the victim. And I can understand not giving them that, but at the same time, if you swoop them up and they are in your custody, that is when you should step in and be able to help them and get them out of it, because then you're realizing, oh, they got trafficked. Oh, let's go find their pimp. Let's go find their handler and go from there, and then put criminal charges on the real criminals.
Yeah.
Not these poor women who are being forced into it. So I could understand that part of it, but at the same time, I'm just like, oh my God.
I mean, something needs to be done where they're separated at the very least from whatever's going on.
They need to be removed from the situation, and nobody is saving them. And that is just so sad.
And it goes on to say that perhaps you're beginning to see a pattern here. If you don't already see the pattern from all these laws, they all coincide together to make something absolutely disgusting.
Yep.
So it should come as no surprise that in California, the trafficking of children is now booming. This week, a New York Times report blew the lid off the Los Angeles child sex trafficking corridor known as the Blade. Preteen prostitutes have become so common, their numbers growing so quickly that local law enforcement officers have their own name for it, the kiddie stroll.
Yep.
The kiddie stroll is no accident. It's not the sad but inevitable result of industrial progress. It's not even a function of poverty. The kiddie stroll is California's opus, the logical result of its most effective social programming. A disaster created over years and decades by politicians and others who understood that patience is a virtue, even for those with no virtue. Yep. Every law supposedly meant to protect children in the state of California does the opposite. Every last one leads to this. Leave the border open for cartel coyotes to traffic humans without opposition. Create a cultural distrust of parents, labeling them difficult or abusive if they question gender or sexual confusion in their children. Drive caring religious foster parents out of an already strained system, leaving more children vulnerable and alone. Lower the age of consent. Lower it again. Stop prosecuting violent crimes. Stop prosecuting prostitution. Limit cops and prosecutors' ability to identify criminal behavior and victims. Stop labeling prostitution the heinous crime it is. Start innocuously calling it sex work instead. Make it as easy as possible for any adult to wield legal control over a child, then wait for the culture to accept that degradation is normal. That's where California's at.
The depravity of man.
Look, if God is real, Nora, and he doesn't strike us down, I don't know why he did that to Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, we're the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. I feel like California is. Maybe the only reason God. I'm not a very religious person. My only assumption would be that God doesn't destroy California because there are still virtuous people here.
Well, the best take on God, you've seen Futurama, right?
Yeah.
Bender gets shot into space and he has a colony of bacteria. Yeah. And he becomes God, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And before he gets sent back, there was a quote, something to the effects of, being God is having the faith that somebody's there, but doing enough where people have faith, but not doing anything at all, so people will still question. So this is one of those things. This is going to be testing a lot of people's faith. It's testing my faith in humanity. That's for sure.
I see things every day that test my faith in humanity.
Exactly. And so, it's not necessarily, I think, that God is going to strike down California for this, but y'all have had droughts and wildfires, and next thing you know, you're going to get hit with a plague. Just watch, you guys are getting signs, and
yeah, it'll be an STI.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a plague of something somewhere.
Oh wait, we already did. It was monkeypox.
There you go. See, y'all had a plague already, and you guys are not taking the signs seriously.
That was so disgusting when that stuff was popping off. There were children showing up to hospitals with monkeypox, and it's like, how the fuck did they get that?
How do you think they got it?
We're not going to go down that road. Anyway, they got it from all these laws that they're passing in California.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Tying it back around. Those children were exposed to monkeypox because of these stupid, disgusting laws that are not protecting them. Yeah. So until you guys can course correct, bad stuff like this is going to keep ramping up. And then what's even worse is now Gavin Newsom wants to run for president.
Well, because he wants this for the country.
Exactly. He wants this. And he sits there, and I saw he code switched the other day.
Did
he? Oh my God, yes. He went on a podcast with two black guys that were ex-basketball players, and he talked about a stack of Wonder Bread and playing basketball. And I was just like,
I'd heard about that, yeah.
Boy, sit down. You don't even know what Wonder Bread is. I can guarantee you don't even know what the smell of it is.
He has Nancy Pelosi as an aunt, doesn't he?
Something like that.
He's likely never wanted for anything.
No, he hasn't. And he was sitting there talking about how he would take care of himself and that he was basically a latchkey kid and And, he would go out and play basketball and shoot hoops until the lights came on. And I'm like, no, you didn't.
You mean the lights of your mansion?
Yeah. And I was like, you proper little prissy princess. No, you did not. I was like, you hardly even broke a nail. He has a silver spoon in his mouth, and he's sitting there trying to code switch.
Let's see. I'm trying to look up something right now. Holy crap. Nancy Pelosi has been in politics. She's been a politician a little bit longer than Gavin Newsom's been alive.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, so Newsom's 58. She's been in the politics since at least the 60s. But in total, she's been a politician for 38 years. But she's been in politics since the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So I highly doubt Newsom's been built up for this. That's always been my opinion. They've built him up for this, and they're building him up to be president too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, even though he doesn't deserve it. And he's running California into the ground. And I hope to God everybody opens their eyes and sees what kind of an atrocious human being this person is. And I don't even think he's a human being. I honestly wonder if he's one of them lizard people.
I don't know. The sheeple in the state would never know that, though, no, because they're all about to vote yes on Prop 50, according to recent polling.
Oh, God, please, no.
I'm not joking. There's a lot of people just voting yes on it. They saw, they're like, oh, I can remove Republicans from my state? Let's do it. That's all it was. That's all they needed.
Tyler,
for calling us fascist, they're the ones removing our votes.
See, I know that Joey is for staying in, and fighting the good fight in a communist state.
I am
But
to a degree, but it's
I
getting
am
hard.
too, but dude, when do you cut your losses and just go? When see, I'm one of those, I don't know when enough is enough. I don't know when to quit. I keep going until like I have beaten the horse dead into the ground. And even then I'll still beat the horse for a little bit. So I just, when is enough enough? When do you cut your ties and just run?
I mean, I've already said I'm not staying in the state to have children.
Yeah.
That was my line, was the all this children stuff.
Well, you can't have children in that state because as soon as they're born, they're immediately going to be awarded the state. You won't have any parental rights.
Yeah, and if the school I send them to decides to trans them and then I don't affirm, I'll get them taken away from me.
Homeschool them, and then you
I would
worry
have
about
to
that.
if that's even legal in California still.
Oh, that's true. Well, homeschooling is illegal in Germany. You cannot homeschool your child in Germany.
There are like programs here in California where they have like things like Learn for Life, where it's basically homeschooling, where you go and see like an instructor like once or twice a week. But I don't know. I would have to look into it, but I wouldn't still not have kids here because I would be an idiot to do
No.
that.
Yeah, no, that would be scary because just the healthcare program there now.
Yeah. Here, we're almost done with this article. Let's get through the rest of this. With this nearly perfect formula, talking about all these laws that we've discussed so far, the progressive left in California has done the impossible in a nation that nearly destroyed itself over slavery. They have brought it back. How ironic, in a state where slavery was never legal, yet where Democrats have waged internal battle over reparations. Make no mistake about it, this is slavery, and just like in the days of Old South, it has government lurking behind every policy and every terrible consequence. This is the calculated sale of vulnerable humans, children, in this horrific case, into the service of other humans with the government's deliberate aid. Is it any wonder the leaders of the Democratic Party in California and across the country show no apparent concern about the 300,000 children that went missing when they crossed the border during the Biden administration? If Gavin Newsom and his legislature had deliberately set out to resurrect the slave trade in California, would they have done anything differently? Would Joe Biden have done anything differently? The kiddie stroll is not the bug, it is the feature. It is the hideous sculpture revealed to our unsuspecting eyes after years and years of progressive chipping and chiseling away at the edges of the law. A monstrous tribute to the evil that has been boiling and bubbling underneath our amber waves of grain for 70 years or more. California's kiddie stroll is more than just a tragic tale of crime and poverty. It is the 21st century slave trade, and the fact that it exists and thrives in California is nothing short of evil. Shame on all of them.
I agree.
Yeah, it's absolutely abhorrent that this is happening in my state. Again, I can't have children in this state. They will be taken from me. They will be put into sex slavery, and they will be prostituted. Like you can't have children in this state.
My biggest concern with all of this is everybody in your state is screaming that they want reparations for being black and slavery and oh how slavery is ended and I need my reparations, but yet we have slavery right there in plain black and white, and they cannot see it. They won't see it. They're allowing willful ignorance, and it's sad and it's heart-wrenching, and
What's that quote from Harriet Tubman? I saved many slaves, and I would have saved many more had they known they were.
Yeah, if had they known they were slaves. Yes.
That's what we see today. That there's all these people that are just in support of this, and they're like, "Oh no, these laws are protecting kids." They don't realize that you're making these children slaves. These children don't understand, and then you trick them into thinking this stuff's okay. It's all
The depravity
disgusting.
oh my God. Just imagine these poor children when they grow up. Literally, most of them are going to be hooked on drugs. They're either going to commit suicide or they're going to keep going down this path. And they're going to be the abusers because most times that's what happens. One of those three avenues happen. They're either dead in a ditch, they're hooked on drugs, or they become the abusers.
Or they become the drug addicts you see on every street corner now.
Yeah, and these children are going to not have any kind of a life because they were taken.
I mean, that's exactly what California wants, and that's what Democrats want. Uh, the bad timing, Nora.
I can't help when I get notifications.
No,
I
you're
thought I
fine. That
turned
was
it
almost as
down.
bad as the yay sound. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, and to tie this in with current events as well. That's it. This is exactly stuff like this reminds me of why the Democrats don't care that food stamps are about to be canceled, because they just want the destruction of the country.
Oh my god.
They want the destruction of the country, so that way you are scared and terrified, and then when they come in and they're like, we have the solution, communism, you're like, yes, please do that. If it fixes things, do that. That's what they're trying to, that's the ultimate goal, is they're trying to get everyone to think that the system we're in is dog shit, so that they can change the system entirely. When our system is the best on the planet, it's been corrupted for so long that it's starting to turn to shit.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We need to fix it. And it's not that it needs to be turned into communism, because that is the worst thing in the world. And if anybody doesn't believe me, go look up Albania. Albania was the worst form of communism because they weren't even allowed to have religion. You want to see a country with no religion? Go look up Albania. Seriously, go look up communist Albania.
I mean, just look at modern day China. Modern day China won't let you be a Muslim.
No, well, you're allowed to have a religion there.
At least you're allowed to have a religion, yeah.
You are allowed to have a religion. In Albania, there was no religion whatsoever. If you got caught, you and your whole entire family disappeared. And that's exactly what I'm afraid of is going to happen is in communist countries, if you do not align, if you speak out in any way, shape, or form, like even though we are free right now, if this country, God forbid, ever turned communist, Tyler, me, Joey, Chris, all of us, gone. Our whole entire families wiped off the map in a blink of an eye. Why? Because we make videos like this.
We're dissidents.
We talk about this. And we talk about this stuff and we warn about it. And even though we're still free, it's still out there. And so people know our opinions. And because we have differing opinions, we are immediately targeted as threats. So they're going to neutralize those threats. And I'm sorry, but I don't like, I like being here. I like being able to talk. I like having a differing of opinions. We need to fix our system, not turn it into a communist country.
Yeah.
If you don't like feminism, stop supporting Marxists. Don't become a communist.
Well said, Nora. All right. I think that's about it, because I basically only had those two stories today. Unless there were any other stories that you had seen from today. I know you basically woke up and then got on the show though. You're an hour behind here. I do an early show, you know.
Yeah, I am an hour behind. I rolled out of bed, washed my face, brushed my teeth, and got on.
Sounds about right. I mean, that's basically what I was doing before I started. I pushed it to 10. Now I have that extra hour to wake up. It's been a lot better.
Yeah, well, this is me just waking up out of bed. Can you imagine if my brain was actually going a little bit more?
Well, hopefully it is going a little bit more, because we're going to be on Joey's show in here in like 2 hours. So.
Oh yeah. See, on Joey's show, my brain is fully functioning at that point in time.
Well, hopefully it's double functioning today, because I woke you up with this show.
Yep. The juices will be flowing and going.
Oh yeah, and I gotta say, shout out to Sick of Shitty Gov. He did a gifted subscription in the chat. He did that while we were ranting, so I don't want to interrupt our conversation. But thank you, Shitty Gov.
You're awesome.
Why does Rumble do this to me every time I want my emotes? You did a gifted sub. You didn't buy a sub, Shitty Gov. You gifted the sub to someone else.
Somebody's got to gift it to you, buddy.
You have to gift it to someone else, or you have to get the subscription yourself.
He's probably like, what? Why?
I know. Well, because he was saying the other day about it too, and I was like, I don't know why it's doing that. Because he had told me that he's like, no, I am subscribed, and I was like, well, then you should have access. And he's like, but it's not giving me access. I don't know how that works. I don't know how to do that. I just work here, okay? I just work here. I don't run Rumble.
Yeah, I just work here.
I just work here, guys. I just work here. Anyway, I think that's good. We got the hour in, and I don't want to go looking around for some maybe stories. Cause dude, the post millennial has been pissing me off. They've been doing like a bunch of bullcrap stories, like stories that don't really need to be stories. Let's see. a lot of stuff about Portland. They keep talking about Portland. Let's see, Trump
Well-
announces that they're talking about China.
Well, Portland's had over 140 days of riots every single night.
True.
The King's protest has never stopped.
I don't know. I just feel like that there should be better stories. Oh, we could talk about this one though. I want to get your thought. I do want to get your thoughts on this. This will be the last story, and then we'll wrap things up. Because I don't think this one will go as long as the other ones. Let me pull this up for you. All right, Nora.
Oh, you got a raid. Check that out.
I got a raid. Oh, Flair the
You got a
Hatebound. What's up, Flair? Guys, go follow
Flair.
Flair. He was just playing Elden Ring. He's playing Elden Ring. Same thing. It's just like Dark Souls. It's the same people that made it. But thank you, Flair. Thank you for the raid, dude. Guys, go follow Flair. He does Vigima games and stuff. Go check him out. Well, perfect timing, right before we transition to the next story. Anyway, I want to get your thoughts on this story here, Nora. Let's pull this up on this fancy schmancy screen here. Got this from the Post Millennial. Court TV joins Human Events and Post Millennial in demanding transparency in the trial of Tyler Robinson for the murder of Charlie Kirk. Let the cameras roll. So if you haven't seen this already, Nora, have you seen anything about this?
A little bit.
So the judge has ruled and granted the request of Tyler Robinson. What is that request? He will not be required to show up to court in prison attire. He will be able to wear his normal civilian clothing. And the judge is now barring people from recording not just the courtroom, but you're not allowed to record him going and leaving the courthouse.
Bull.
Yeah. He murdered Charlie Kirk in one of the most public and nationally televised ways possible, and we're not allowed to record him even leaving the courthouse?
Unacceptable. Nope. I'm sorry. If we could sit there and watch Johnny Depp and Amber Turd and all of their infinite bullshittic wisdom, I'm sorry. I want to see this. I would be glued to the TV and watch this one. They used to put this stuff on TV all the time. You know, what was it? OJ Simpson, Ted Bundy, they all were televised in the courtroom. Oh my God, Ted Bundy's was absolutely entertaining.
Well, and then think about the conspiracy theories that are going to happen from this. We're like, oh, they're not televising it because it's going to come out that he wasn't the shooter.
No, the conspiracy theories are already flying because of the boyfriend or furry thing, whatever, disappearing.
Yeah, he's been missing for 6 weeks. I looked into that. I don't blame him for going into hiding, honestly.
I don't either.
Because he was getting harassed. There were people showing up to their apartment or their house or whatever. The last reporting I saw was that he actually went to go stay with his parents. So I don't know if there's anything fishy going on there. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I'm sure the government's keeping an eye on him. But who knows? I mean, they often keep eyes on people. And then what's the line from the FBI every time there's a mass shooting? He was on our radar. So I don't know, but you have this quote here. I think you and I will agree with. I don't know who the quote is from, but it says, "This was a murder meant for the world to see. The trial seeking justice for Charlie Kirk should be seen by the world as well."
I agree.
So Court TV's Julie Grant on Wednesday backed the push to have cameras in the courtroom for the trial of Tyler Robinson, who has been charged with assassinating Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk. This comes as the defense has requested that cameras be banned from the courtroom to minimize the effect of prejudicial pretrial publicity. Human Events Media Group has filed an open letter urging that cameras be allowed. Let the cameras roll, said Grant. The defendant accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk wants to keep cameras out of the courtroom. His lawyers argue it will taint the prospective jury pool and jeopardize his right to a fair trial. They say that after his first court appearance, the public scrutiny of his appearance and his movements was happening excessively because of what was shown in the courtroom.
Pre-trial, I could understand not having them in the courtroom. However, I could understand them allowing recording devices. But they need to allow the people to take pictures before and after when he's entering and exiting the courtroom. That is totally acceptable. Pre-trial, I could understand from a defense point, not wanting to taint the jury pool. That I could understand because in our law, we need to have a fair trial for both sides. So,
as Son Wiggum points out, though, because of the way he committed this crime, there is going to be no such thing as a fair trial.
This is true.
Like someone somewhere has heard something about the Charlie Kirk shooting. So like
yeah, this is true. There will be no fair trial, but you can try to make it as fair as possible. So not recording for the pre-trial, I could understand. Recording for the trial, totally do it on TV. I want popcorn. Let's go.
And then Missy has an excellent point. No one cared about the Rittenhouse and Chauvin having fair juries, but they want
Right.
to ensure a fair jury for this. It just seems
Right.
like BS. Honestly, my opinion on this is that they don't actually care about a fair jury. They're doing this to stoke more of the conspiracies.
They are.
That's what I think. Shitty Gov, I'll check that out. Send that to me directly. But anyway, so it says Grant noted, or wait. Well, when you pick up murder charges, public scrutiny usually comes with it. What did defendant Tyler Robinson think was going to happen after he allegedly confessed to his lover that he assassinated Charlie Kirk? Do you think a walk in the park was coming next? No, criminal charges and a trial, if he so chooses, are what comes next. Yeah, if he committed this crime, what comes next is a trial with cameras, and you're going to jail, like prison. Like that's what happens. He knew this was going to happen. He had planned it out. Well, he didn't plan to get caught, I guess, but he didn't exactly have a good plan to not have that happen. But it says Grant noted that in Utah, cameras are permitted to film and photograph court proceedings. We've seen it time and time again with the trials that we broadcast here on Court TV. The cameras have zero bearing on the fairness of the trial. She continued, noting that trials with intense public scrutiny, such as O.J. Simpson, Casey Anthony, and Karen Reed, the jurors aren't watching the trial on TV. They're not allowed to do that. So it sounds to me like this defendant just wants some special treatment. But he's not special, and I suspect the judge will deny his request to exclude the cameras, but yet, still, that judge will ensure that Mr. Robinson receives the fair trial that he's entitled to receive. So is it still up in the air that he hasn't approved this yet? Because I thought it was that he approved the request.
It sounds like they have not approved it yet, but they put in for the approval.
Okay.
The letter states in part, in the absence of the official courtroom footage, speculative secondary content. Oh, sorry, all of a sudden it jumped.
Sorry, I was zooming so you could see it better.
Will fill the void. This should stand to increase, not decrease. Prejudicial distortion. Yeah, prejudicial distortion. So yeah, like I said, depending on which way you want to swing this, it's guys are going to add or take away from. But if it's already something that happens in Utah on the regular, and they can actually show that it does not impact the jurors in any way because they're not allowed to watch the trial on TV, then there is no standing in that state. And I am fully accepting that they allow it.
Yeah, if you want a fair jury, you'd basically have to tell these people to stay off the internet.
Well, that's technically in these big cases what you're supposed to do.
Stay off the internet, no watching TV, go walk in the park.
Well, not only that, but you're not allowed to even discuss the case with friends or family, period.
Well, yeah, because they don't... if you go start discussing it with people, they'll be like, oh, but did you hear this? And then you'll get misinformation, or maybe you'll get things that weren't exposed in the court.
Skewed.
Yeah.
Yeah, things could be skewed. So
to that point, though, this is absolutely ridiculous because they're not supposed to be looking at this stuff online anyway. So this doesn't affect the jury unless they choose to go out of their way to break the rules.
And then if they break the rules, they're found in contempt of court and they suffer consequences as well. And then they'll be removed from the jury.
Son of Wiggum said, yeah, there's no way. You would need to get people who are hermits. Go get the Amish people for the jury.
Pretty much. Oh my God. I would allow, oh my God, that would be such an amazing thing to have the Amish on there, because the Amish are extremely fair when it comes to stuff like this.
Just imagine the Amish hearing about this. They're like, what did this guy do? He was talking and you killed him? That's it?
For what? You killed him for talking?
Yeah.
In public? In front of children and people? Oh, no.
No.
Death penalty for you.
They'll build the prison for him.
Yeah, they will make him build the prison that he has to sleep in.
You're right.
With no power tools.
Oh man. Yeah, so you gotta drive those nails in with your bare hand.
Saw it down with an actual handsaw.
Right. They give him a butter knife, like cut the wood.
Whittle this away, my friend. Whittle this away.
Yeah, no. Final thoughts on this. It should be live broadcasted, televised for the world to see, just as he intended the murder of Charlie Kirk. He intended for everyone to see it. And
Absolutely.
I think it should. I think his trial should be there for everyone to see.
The only reason why I could ever imagine them allowing no cameras in the courtroom is if somebody else was actually behind this and they don't want that coming out and they're just trying to hide what truly happened.
Well, and that's how
But
that's how conspiracies like this get brought up, though, because it makes me
Exactly.
believe that a little bit too. Like, why are they
Why?
hiding it? What
Yeah,
what
why?
information don't they want us to see publicly?
That's exactly my point. Is what are they hiding? Because if they weren't hiding anything, they would allow everybody to see this. The OJ Simpson trial was huge. Everybody and their mother and their mother's mother was watching the OJ Simpson trial.
On
Like,
one of the more recent ones, the Johnny
remembers
Depp
the
one.
brown Bronco driving down the road. You
Yeah.
know, everybody remembers watching the chase. Everybody was glued to their cameras. That's why the Kardashian family is so famous. Is because the dad was his attorney.
Oh, and then you have one of the more recent examples with the like you brought up, the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, Amber Turd. That trial was very public. People were making so many memes and stuff about it. And I think the part it did Johnny Depp a huge favor making it public, because if it wasn't public, Amber would have been able to skew the story, because they were a lot of people already believed Amber, but then you look at the trial and it's like, oh wait, she's actually the piece of shit.
Yeah, she's crazy.
She's not only is she a piece of shit, she's crazy, right? So that's another reason to have this public, because public perception of something could be skewed by the people that you may believe one side or the other. Because what if it turns out Tyler Robinson actually is innocent, but then they do this all, you know, behind the scenes and without cameras, and it's like, well, how is he innocent? We don't know that he's innocent. You guys just let him off. Like, what if that happens too? Like, that's a possibility
Right?
too.
Exactly.
And then no one would believe that. So it's all just, yeah, no, it all needs to be public. Let the cameras roll. Yeah, it's ridiculous that this is even being considered. And allowing him to be in civilian clothing, why? That also that also skews the jury a little bit, because they're like, wait, they're not putting him in prison clothing. They must not think he's very guilty.
Well, they allowed OJ to be in street clothes.
Well, he's
but
high
he was in a
profile.
suit and tie. Exactly. But this is technically a high profile case.
I'll give it to him if he shows up in a suit and tie, but if he shows up in like a basic t-shirt,
Oh, yeah, no. Unacceptable.
he needs to show up in a suit and tie. He needs to be in formal clothing if he's going to be standing trial. If he's not going to be in the prison attire.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's just my opinion, though.
because this is a high profile case, I'm okay with him dressing presentably if they're not going to put him in the jumpsuit orange. I'm fine with that. But he can't be going to court in jeans and a t-shirt. Unacceptable.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
So
I-
yeah, that's what I have to say on that one.
Yeah, I think we could start wrapping up here. We went a little over the hour, which I usually end up doing anyway. My dog is whining. I think she either wants to play or go to the bathroom or both. Probably both. But anyway, any final thoughts, Nora? You want to send people anywhere?
Come and find me with Joey Cannoli over on Outworld and Nightcap. Last night was really super fun. We had a really long episode. Karen Jones from Kill Tony came on, and it was an amazing conversation with her. She'll be back next week on, I think, Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I'm
tentatively.
gonna go watch that as soon as we're done here. Actually.
Yeah, that was a really fun show. I absolutely love her so much. But other than that, come find me in the Discord.
Oh yeah. Do you have an ex?
I'm taking over the Outworld Live X account, so
okay.
it's Outworld Live. So
There you go. Go follow her on Outworld Live.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Nora, for coming on today. Always a pleasure. I need to try to have more guests on. Now that I'm in my new time slot, I should be able to have more guests on. For example, guys, we'll have Joey Cannoli on tomorrow, I believe, as long as he doesn't have anything come up. And then we'll try to have Nora on more often now that I'm not making her get up at 7 a.m.
Yeah, much appreciated.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, thank you guys so much. And Nora, should we play some music to get out of here? Let's
Absolutely.
what song should I play? Do you have a recommendation for one of my songs?
God.
Let's see. Hang on. Let me pull up the screen here so you know what I'm looking at. What are the options? All right. Here are the options here, Nora. Got I'm the Enemy, Happiness, After Dark Debates, Work Harder, Shadows in the Capital. Got 2 different Burn the Flag songs. Feather Falling is pretty good.
Do the Burn the Capital one.
Wait. You said Shadows in the Capital?
Shadows in the Capital.
Okay, that's always a good one. All right. Well, thank you again, Nora, and thank you to everyone hanging out in the chat. Always a pleasure to do the show for you guys, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Later, guys.
Bye.
The suits sit high while the streets sink low, counting gold in the towers, letting fires grow. I hear whispers in alleys, truths they don't show. It's all smoke, no mirrors, just a puppet show.
They sign the papers inked with lies while we're left with broken skies. They take the bread and leave us the crust in this machine. Who can we trust? Shadows in the Capitol, the power's all a game. They point their fingers, but we know who's to blame. Whispers in the corridors, screaming through the shade. Shadows in the Capitol, nothing feels the same.
Now, the ballots feel like broken dice. They play their games, we pay the price. Promises painted in black and white, but they vanish like thieves in the dead of night.
Lies written with invisible ink, pouring poison in the water we drink. They build their walls, we feel the squeeze. Freedom's just a word on a broken marquee.
Shadows in the Capitol, the power's all a game. They point their fingers, but we know who's to blame. Whispers in the corridors, screaming through the shade. Shadows in the Capitol, nothing feels the same. Where do we go when the truth's been sold?
When the streets run cold and the lies get old.
Where do we go when the truth's been sold?
When the streets run cold and the lies get old.
Where do we go when the truth's been sold?
When the streets run cold and the lies get old.
Shadows in the Capitol, the power's all a game. They point their fingers, but we know who's to blame. Whispers in the corridors, screaming through the shade. Shadows in the Capitol, nothing feels the same.